Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with your friends and get your gaming goodness every Saturday, 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. I'm Dylan Blight, and join me on today's show, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, it's good to be back here on the couch.
It is. Kira Marchant.
Hey Dylan, it's good to be back here on the couch.
And Nicholas Pryor.
Hi Dylan, it's good to be back here on the couch.
Okay, no, I don't know how I feel about it. Okay, fair enough.
You just missing the Captain Q to yourself?
Hi!
Yeah.
No Shree today, everyone.
Just shaking it up? No, you got the three old Scrooges.
The three amigos.
Three amigos, as the Mexicans say.
I have a very light and bubbly personality, I'll have you know.
Nick is all about the cuties.
With Nick. Very similar personalities. They've never been on a show together. How do you know they're not the same person?
It's like a Jekyll and Hyde situation.
Never know. We never know. On today's show, we're going to be talking a lot about what we've been playing since, of course, we did just come off holidays. So been playing a few games. And we're also going to be talking about the biggest news stories that have dropped while we was on their holidays, including EA cancelling yet another Star Wars game, Bungie separating from their longtime partner Activision, and then later in the show, Explosion Network's award-winning streaming superstar Rockamummy stops by to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3. But let's jump into the news first. EA has cancelled Vancouver's apparent open world Star Wars game, leaving many people asking, are we even going to get a non-Battlefield game from EA in the entire Star Wars licensing owning ordeal? What was everyone's reaction to this news when it drops?
Disappointment, I guess. Yeah. That they couldn't salvage what was left of the ragtag Amy Hennig game. I guess that all that money has gone to waste, all that time has gone to waste. It'd be interesting to find out if it was a quality thing or whether it's just that that's not what EA wanted them to be doing. I know it's interesting.
So, Kotaku put out the original story. Jason Schreier, of course, broke the original story. And then EA put out a statement that read, there's been speculation, this was the following day, there's been speculation overnight about one of our Star Wars projects. As a natural part of the creative process, the great work by our team in Vancouver continues and will evolve into future Star Wars content and games. We're fully committed to making more Star Wars games. We're very excited about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order from Respawn, and we'll share more about our new projects when the time is right. So I think the keywords are Vancouver continues and will evolve into future Star Wars content, which basically means, hey, we'll move their team into a different project or like make them go help out with Jedi or something along those lines. But yeah, they apparently scrapped.
At least they didn't close the studio.
Yeah, well, they didn't can this studio straight away. They just apparently canned what was known as Project Orca or whatever it was. So they've now canned a lot of games, and we'll go for them in a minute. What do you think, Nick?
I don't know. I didn't have any particular strong feelings either way. I'm leaning on the side of I'd rather have no Star Wars game than a bad Star Wars game. So if it was a quality thing, I'm glad they cancelled it if it was going to be bad. But yeah, so I don't really know what we're missing out on, so I can't really have a strong opinion on it. If anything, I hope this makes Disney reevaluate their deal and decide to look elsewhere for their Star Wars gaming
projects. Ash? Kieran, sorry.
Yes, we're wearing the same colour shirt and we answered the
same.
You
are wearing the same colour shirt.
We're not the same person, Dylan. Come on. Now, I think I verbally said, are you fucking kidding me when I read this article? And EA was handed like the proverbial gold mine in terms of licensing. Like, here, have Star Wars. Fucking go for gold. Have Star Wars. You should be able to make a goddamn mint without even worrying about loot boxes and freaking microtransactions. Here's a license to go print yourself some money. Go do it. And they're fucking it up. They're actually fucking it up. Like, just have another Star Wars project. This is becoming a meme. And I'm glad that Respawn's project is far enough along. that it can't be cancelled, or it's a lot likely to be cancelled. But somebody at Disney has to be looking at this going, maybe it's time we look at somebody else for the licensing. Like, there's no way once this licensing deal runs out, if it even gets to the full extent of its license of the deal, that EA keeps this fucking deal. There's no way, right?
Here's another way to look at it. Do you think that maybe EA are being overly cautious about the quality of another Star Wars game because of the backlash from Battlefront 2, and they can't really afford maybe the media shitstorm if another Star Wars game comes out and is really bad, because then that might force Disney's hand?
The backlash was about the progression system tied into the loot box type system.
Oh, it was.
Else, so.
But the general media don't really go into the nuance of it. It's just a headline like Star Wars game, blah, 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 bad press, and that's bad for Disney in the long run. So maybe they're being overly critical on themselves about it.
Honestly, it's a lose-lose situation for EA when they put themselves in this position, because you either, if you know the game's crap and you put out a crap game, it's not going to look good on you. If you cancel the game, it looks crap because you're canceling a Star Wars game that people really want to play. And it's now the third, fourth, fifth Star Wars game in a row that's just been canned that people have known about and have been looking forward to.
Arguably third.
But how much did we know about it?
Third.
Not a lot. All we know is they were just taking the assets from the other game and they were making like an open world-ish.
Yeah. So IGN put together a very handy article that I'll run through now, that they've listed every Star Wars project that EA has released, are working on still, or have cancelled. So the list starts with cancelled games. The first one being the Vancouver one, the most recent cancelled one, which was reportedly named codename Orca, and would have had you players in the role of a scoundrel or bounty hunter who could explore various open world planets and work with different factions across the Star Wars universe. And then Kotaku, blah, blah, blah. Kotaku says EA ultimately pulled the plug due to the game's projected length of development. A smaller scale Star Wars project with a projected 2020 release date is said to have replaced Orca. So if that's true, they cancelled it because it wasn't going to be coming out within the next 5 or under years. Probably. Like, it was probably a long-term, huge game, and that they want to shovel out a Star Wars game a lot faster. And if they've replaced it with one that's going to come out in 2020, then they're either making that team crunch the fuck up, or, well, I mean, they're probably making them crunch as well, but a combination of that and being a smaller scale game. So that's what it was supposed to be, though. Some sort of bounty hunter open world game. So premise wise, you go bounty hunter, open world, cool, I suppose. You know, there's not much you can say about it, really. But as a premise, you're like, yeah, look at that. Sounds like a video game. It's a video game I could play. So the next one is, of course, the Visceral and Amy Hennig Star Wars game, which was the, I suppose, version 1 of what they just cancelled, kind of, if they're grabbing assets, because that was, as Ash just mentioned, was tunneled into this Project Orca thing, and they was using elements of that. But it says here, an earlier incarnation of Orc was previously in development at Dead Space studio Visceral Games, with former Uncharted creative director Amy Hennig at the helm. That project was, however, met with a similar fate in 2017 when EA shut down Visceral and cancelled the game. Hennig's Star Wars game, a third-person adventure, was reportedly codenamed Ragtag and would have followed Dolga, a cracked mirror version of Han Solo in a story-driven crime family heists and other game. So it seems like they took the elements of like the bounty hunter stuff that was probably a part of that game if you was playing a game with a Han Solo-like character, and then they took that over to this recently cancelled one and expanded it into a less linear story-driven base game and more of an open world player choice-based one, I guess, is the way it was going to be. But it's so funny that you would cancel a whole studio, Visceral, shut them down, and then move another studio in to kind of grab up the pieces of that project and make it into something that EA considered was more viable and would do better or whatever. And then only a year later, or less than, a year later, shut that team down as well. It really does just make it seem like the people over at EA have no idea what they're doing. If they're going to shut down one thing and then shut down the next version, that the cleanup crew, they literally shut down the cleanup crew for something. Apparently, I didn't actually know about this one until I saw this article. Before Ragtag, Visceral was working on an open-world space scoundrel Star Wars game codenamed Yuma, according to a report from Kotaku. Sources familiar with the project said it was going to be some hybrid between a linear action shooter where if you're on the ground it's Tomb Raider-like, but then in space it's going to be Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So that was apparently a thing they were working on as well. So that's 3 current cancelled games.
Is the only idea that EA or EA-related studios can come up with for Star Wars something like a bounty hunter or some kind of charismatic character? Like, do they just want to make... Like, So I just realized that... So Floor, was it 1313? Like Star Wars 1313 or something?
Yeah.
That wasn't a part of the EA deal? That was something
No,
else?
No, that was LucasArts.
That was prior to Disney buying
That
Star
was
Wars.
prior to Disney? Because that was obviously... like Uncharted, the Star Wars game. And a lot of these games...
Well, there was gameplay.
Yeah, there was gameplay of it. Yeah, exactly. And then these games give off the same kind of similar vibe of bounty hunter-esque. For a franchise that is like Star Wars, is that really the only type of story they could pull out of it?
Apparently.
That's so garbage.
What if Disney on the down low had told them to can bounty hunter things because of The Mandalorian?
I think someone would have said something if that was the case.
Yeah. I don't think it gets greenlit.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I think you don't put millions and millions of dollars into something and then can it because Jon Favreau wants to tell a bounty story.
Yeah. I don't think they're quite... I think Disney and Lucasfilm are a lot more organized than EA is with what they're fucking doing with the Star Wars properties. I mean, you look at what they're doing with the actual Star Wars universe between the books, the comics, the movies, the TV shows, all that sort of stuff. They got their head on straight. They're planning years ahead. They know what they're doing over there.
What do any of us here at the Explosion Network really know about Star Wars? Like, not much. No
one knows anything.
We're
about
all
Star Wars.
fledglings.
Yeah, we're all
when it
Trekkies.
comes- We're all Trekkies when it comes to Star Wars universe and its information. Like, no bite.
We've watched a Star Wars
Star
film.
Wars.
Oh, we've all watched.
Tune into
Star
Old
Wars
Round Explosion this year as we build up the hype leading towards Star Wars Episode 9. So
Heard it here
next
first.
list, so the next list I've got here is actual games that have been published. So you've got Star
Sorry,
Wars Battlefront.
actual games. Oh, sorry.
That they put out. Star Wars Battlefront 2, which of course was released in 2017, and Nick was just saying to a lot of negative feedback, and so I think the game is fine. I don't hate it. I don't love it, of course. I think it's just very subpar. I feel like when they announced it and they said they was going to add the single player story, and I was like, fuck yes, finally, because of course the first one didn't have it. I feel like the single player story was a major letdown, and also that the multiplayer didn't really bring enough new from the first one, the first Battlefront game to really make it stand out. And they've continuously tried to fix it, and I give them props to that. Like, for example, I think it was this week or last week, they just added Count Dooku into it, and they continue to add stuff to that game, but after the amount of bad press it got from the off-start, I don't feel like they can really salvage that game to the masses.
Its player-based numbers have to have not been able to recover from that public media shitstorm that happened. There's no way it could recover anything.
There's still enough people playing it that they put in the work to add the characters and the maps and stuff that they keep adding for free. So because they basically changed the whole progression and release list to be like, hey, you'll get Count Dooku for free, but you have to pay for his skins. That's how they've worked out where they want to spend your money. Did anyone else play? Did you play Battlefront 2, Nick? Or
I did. I mean, it was fine. It wasn't what I wanted from it, but it was a thing. But I was just thinking, do you think they're doing all this post-release support because they'd get even more bad press if they cancelled it, considering they promised X amount of content, like free expansion passes and all that kind of stuff.
I reckon there's probably like a certain amount of people, you know, of course, that like the suit wearers or whatever you want to call them, that's the kind of way they'd look at it. But at the same time, it's like the people that work on Battlefront 2, they probably just love working on Battlefront 2. It's like a game they made, 100%. So they probably just they legit enjoy making more content for that game. So I think it's a little bit of both, if one direction. What did we all think of the original Battlefront though when it released? Because that was, of course, the first big game to be released under the new EA Disney-owned banner or whatever you want to call it.
I played a hell of a lot more of it than Battlefront 2 when it came out.
Same.
Because it was just visually great and just being in those environments, and that was fantastic. But it's weird because Battlefront 2 expanded on it a way that I wanted, but in the same token, I didn't enjoy it as much. Like, I would have preferred if Battlefield had class systems and all that kind of stuff, which was introduced, but I don't know, maybe it was the bad taste of when I was playing it, the pay to progression and all that kind of stuff just soured me on it, and I haven't really been back. And plus, playing that single player story as opposed to the first one was also pretty bad as well. Worse than having a non-existent one, in my opinion. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed the first one, and I put quite a bit of hours into it, if I remember correctly.
I would have put over 100 into it easy.
Yeah, I'd be about that, yeah.
Which I know isn't crazy, but it's like obviously high for most people. But yeah, I played a lot of it with my the one friend that I named that because I only have one friend, Sam. I played a lot of it with him when the game was released, and we spent a lot of time just playing the whatever they called the ship battle mode, which we both really enjoyed, but everyone apparently hated. But like, I think was just all very impressed by. I can get the Millennium Falcon, and like every time I got the Millennium Falcon, because you had to find the random you had to fly into the thing to get it in the map, and getting that every single time I was like, fuck yes, I'm in the Falcon, and you felt badass and stuff. So I have a lot of enjoyable memories with that game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were upset about that mode because it was planet-based as opposed to space-based.
Yeah.
That was like literally the only thing people
but
had
it
to
still
complain
looked
about it.
and sounded
I know,
so
it still
good.
was fantastic.
I
the VR mode was fucking phenomenal as well.
Yeah, well, that's actually probably thing that's left off this list because it was a free update, I suppose, not like a separate thing. But yes, the VR mission thing that they added for Battlefront is phenomenal, and I'm still surprised that they didn't, after the initial reaction to that, fast track a X-Wing VR game.
Yeah.
Even a smaller scale one that was only like 2 to 3 hours long.
X-Wing fighters, pilots aren't bounty hunters, sorry. Move on.
Yeah, well, that's probably... Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have something in the works now, considering the good press and the uptick in uptick in numbers sold and all that kind of stuff. Like, they might see some monetary value in doing it.
Well,
they
just haven't did it in the first place. Like that,
I think that was kind of a deal with Sony
years?
to go, here, have some money, create something for PSVR.
How many years has it been since that demo came out then? Would have been
it came out right before Rogue One. So
yeah, because it was a Rogue One based mission.
3-4 years ago?
4 years,
2016, something like that.
So we should have, Ted, if they've been working on it since then, we should have heard something about it by now.
No, I'm not saying they're working on it since then, but they might have something in the works.
Yeah.
Like in the conception phase because of the sales numbers recently.
Okay.
I hope so, because that's really good. So next one is the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which I'd presume that I'm the only person who's tried out.
I believe I've tried all the Star Wars games and then promptly delete them 20 minutes later.
Yeah, probably. Galaxy Heroes is okay. It's nothing great. There's got a whole heap of characters in it. I believe it makes them a butt fuck amount of money. Which according, it says here it made them top source of revenue in fiscal year 2017, which would make sense because I often see the game in like the top paid, and it's always like the highest. When you look at Star Wars games, it's always the highest performing one. So it's fine. It's something special. It does have a lot of characters in it and stuff though. And then I don't know if this one really counts, but the IGN article does list the Old Republic. Like
But it was before the deal.
Yeah,
was
but it
before-
wasn't EA game, technically.
Yeah, it's a BioWare game. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was before BioWare sold themselves to EA.
No.
Yeah. So, I
You sure?
mean,
Well, in the first line of the article, it says, prior to its exclusive publishing deal, EA released Star Wars.
That's the
okay.
exclusive publishing.
Yeah, that's
it's
the Disney
deal,
one, not the
right.
BioWare
I
one.
look
Yeah.
like an idiot.
Yep.
You sound like one too.
Yeah, it's fine. That's exactly. Hey, I really like this game. This game was great.
I never played it. I like
Yeah.
the idea of it, but I never really
It
got
just
into it.
fell into the MMO trope of no endgame content.
Yeah.
Like I put so many hours into it when it first came out. I bought a copy of it online somewhere because it wasn't being released in Australia for like 2 weeks after its initial launch.
Jesus.
You know, we had on our server, our guild was called the Jedi Council.
Yes, I believe I heard this.
Yeah, I think I've
remember.
told this story.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. And then you kind of got to the level cap and there was nothing. And now you look back at this game and this game had such a fantastic, like they did so much for this game. They released so much good content regularly for this with expansions, with new areas and new maps and new characters. And it was really good. It was just such a shame that like so many MMOs that aren't called World of Warcraft, it just fell on its face when it got to endgame content on its initial release that people stopped caring.
How long did you play before you stopped? Because a lot of games of that variety just barely have much in-game content in the like.
Yeah, they
6
do.
months.
They do. I played for about 3-4 months.
Yeah.
I put a decent amount of time into it. I had a couple different tunes that were max level.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's got to be when building MMOs or building games like this style of RPG now. Developers need to put more effort into making sure there's a decent level of endgame content either coming or on the horizon for the game. Like they have to make sure that your players have something you're working towards to keep you playing.
It's almost like developers forget that there is the subset of gamers like that power through everything to get to the end game.
And it's very common in MMO games. Like you're the people that are going to push your game forward and continue its progression are those power leveling players that are going to get it day one, are going to smash out a max level character as quick as possible, and then want more, like still want more content. And even though, you know, that's not the whole player base, and there's still a lot of like, you know, what you would call a casual player base that jumps in and plays for fun or plays here and there, it's that core kind of hardcore character leveling player base that you need to keep entertained in your games to make sure that it continues to a strong point.
So they've apparently got 2 games that we at least know about in the works still. The first one is a mobile game called Star Wars Rise to Power. Don't know much about it, but it's in closed pre-alpha at the moment, so presumably that will come out sometime later this year. And then, of course, the second one is the the greatly announced and revealed, and I don't know, this Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which was one of the weirdest moments from E3 last year, of course, when they went
Just
and
asked a random person in the crowd what the name
Andrew
was.
Renee was in the stage and was like, hey, Vince Zampella is just right here somehow. That's a magic coincidence. Do you want to talk about your Star Wars game? No, fuck you. But here's the title. We don't have a title card to put up on stage or anything like that, but I'll say it, and we'll just move on with our day. So
That's because he came up with the name on the spot.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, they melted the logo afterwards. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Apparently it tells the story of a surviving Padawan set shortly after the events of Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. According to EA, it's
becomes a bounty
tentatively
hunter.
scheduled for a holiday 2019
Not going to
release.
happen. Nah.
I
It's
believe
going to
it.
happen.
Nah.
I believe it because
Now they definitely need to.
yeah.
They definitely
Episode 9
need
is
to,
this year.
but-
So
They're like, shit something out now. We can't deal with this.
If they didn't have anything to show here, fuck, what state is this game in to show something in the coming E3?
they've always then maybe they'll just keeping it. They don't want to. They want to do a whole like Bethesda, like properly reveal it like only a couple months before.
Well, then they
it
shouldn't have
actually
said
comes out.
anything then.
No, the fucking EA have shit the bed if they're going to do that strategy.
I believe it'll come out solely because they've got to have a Star Wars game coming out with the release of Episode 9.
Yeah, it'll be another
But
mobile
what if they
game.
fucked up bad enough
No,
that they're not
'cause
going to
they've always
have
had
one?
Battlefront.
Maybe
Battlefront
this
2
mobile
came
game
out.
comes out. Maybe Rise to Power.
No, that doesn't count. I mean, like a core console PC
Maybe
game.
Rise to Power. They're going to be like, man, mobile.
What about those stupid alien horse racing games?
They're gonna in the middle of the Star Wars celebration, they're gonna get everybody in the main hall to sit down and watch an esport presentation of shoutcasters casting Star Wars
Well,
Rise to Power.
This is my legit thing. I can't make my mind up. Like, they have to reveal and show a trailer for this at some point soon, and I can't decide if they will show it at Star Wars Celebration, which is before E3, or they'll show something at E3.
Well, it depends. If it's coming out this year, they show the initial trailer at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
Then at E3, they do a gameplay demo.
Gameplay. Yeah, that's probably the way that makes sense. Because it's kind of like, does EA tell them not to show anything at Star Wars Celebration because they want it to be shown at
that's
a
your most
game?
hardcore fan base. Anything you show, even the smallest, you're not going to get a Blizzard reaction for anything.
No.
Unless it's a mobile game.
No, even then.
You still look for a mobile game.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 mobile.
The thing is that Star Wars fans on the internet are the fucking worst people, but the actual Star Wars fans who pay to go to something like Star Wars Celebration are really nice people.
Yeah.
They're not going to ask if it's a joke or not.
No.
Are you going to get worried if they don't release anything or announce anything at Celebration?
No, because then I'll just presume that they are just saving it for E3. But what Ash says makes sense and is what I think they should do. Like, show a cinematic story-based trailer at Celebration and then a gameplay demo at E3 ahead of a October release or late November release date or something, probably.
I'm fairly certain that's what they did with Battlefront 2. Like, they did the story thing at Celebration and then multiplayer and all that.
But we'd already known Battlefront 2 was
sense.
coming.
Well, we know this is coming.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do. Well,
We know
No,
it
we don't.
exists.
Nah, we don't.
Yeah, because the thing we got from Battlefront 2 earlier was just that stupid dev reel about, we're excited making this game and like fucking concept shots and
Well,
work in progress.
this game was first revealed in quotation marks, years and years ago. I can't remember the exact year, but the year at E3 where EA did that developer thing where they went to a bunch of studios and had that video play, and this game was shown in that reel, along with another game that I'll never forget about because I remember going, that looks cool, and we had still never heard about it, which is the one where they was being done by like the Burnout team, and they were jumping out of things and paragliding and like first person ATV bike riding and all sorts of things. It was supposed to be like this big extreme sports game with all of them in it, and they showed some footage of it, and they've never talked about it since. I've never heard anything about it, but they showed this game in that same reel where I was going around to a bunch of different EA developers, and they showed people motion capture suits doing lightsaber battles. So that's when we knew, this game is going to have you or have at least Jedis or Sith or lightsaber people in it at some point. And that's all we knew about it until they released the title last year. So it's had the weirdest non-news cycle ever. It's like it's never like really been talked about on the stage ever. No one's ever got up on stage and said, here's the game, we'll tease it a little bit. All the information has come from a random developer video thing, and then Andrew and Renee just bumping into someone in the audience. Like
I think it's going to happen because Ashley predicted it, and on this show, Ashley's always right and Kieran's always wrong.
Yeah. That's exactly what happens.
I don't know. Ashley was saying that Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't coming out still.
He didn't say it wasn't coming out. He was just skeptical about it coming out.
I'm gonna if I'll hold the game in my hands and Ash will still be like, I don't believe
He'll still
it.
be like, you will grab it tomorrow. And he'll be like, no, man.
Yeah, doesn't exist apparently.
Doesn't exist.
Is it
It's
coming out tomorrow?
definitely not going to
No.
grab it tomorrow.
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
well, that's
tomorrow. Isn't it January 21st? That's what I Googled.
true. No.
Fuck.
No.
And I'm on a video game podcast, everyone.
Yeah, stay informed.
Google lied to me.
I think the biggest question for the Star Wars stuff though is what do we think is going to happen? Do you reckon Disney, Lucasfilm try and pull the license from EA? Do you reckon they just let them run out their 10-year like contract, whatever they've got going on, or like what do you reckon is actually going to happen with their whole relationship, Rocky relationship? Ash?
I don't think Disney's too concerned, to be perfectly honest, about their video game side. I'm sure they're getting enough money from the mobile games to cover their licensing fees or whatever.
I suppose my only star point I'll chuck in here to help you try and think of wise is look at how well Spider-Man did last year, and don't forget they're part of the same umbrella team, and they're going, fuck, look how well that happened. Like, we gave our license to a developer and they put out an amazing game.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man basically ruled 2018, and that game wasn't, like, it was up there with
You just said you played hundreds of hours of Battlefront, which was the first game under the EA license. Like, I'm not going to say anything about Insomniac because I'm sure they're going to knock every other game out of the park, but EA is 5 years into this, obviously. Okay, a couple of projects have fallen apart, but...
Okay, a couple. I just think the biggest difference is that Marvel's doing this thing at the moment where they're not handing the games license to one sole person.
No,
they're spreading them out to whoever they see fit and getting better results that way. Whereas Star Wars is currently just stuck under EA as...
But to be fair, they've done one AAA game so far?
Two.
Under the Marvel?
Oh, Marvel, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With whatever else we know is in the way.
I wouldn't put Battlefront on the same level as Marvel Spider-Man. Like,
yeah, well, they're completely different games, so it's
even like in just terms of general fan like love and support and adulation. People weren't talking
pretty
about
well received, the original Battlefront.
but they weren't talking about Battlefront the way they were talking about Spider-Man.
No, but a multiplayer game like that is never really going to be in the same sort of conversation for critical acclaim and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Overwatch was.
Fucking hell.
Ba 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 ba!
It took him 30 minutes. Okay, Nick, what do you think's going to happen then with EA and Star Wars?
I think this is too volatile to predict.
Okay. What an answer.
Wow, sitting on the fence. It's my job.
Kieran, were you sitting on the fence or?
No, I don't think. I think EA would have been okay if it hadn't been for the Battlefront 2 debacle. I think like Disney's looking a lot closer at their gaming because of that. And I think they have a very possible, it's a decent sized chance that Disney's going to go elsewhere with this license.
Fair enough. Talking about going elsewhere with licenses, the other big thing that happened was Destiny 2 developer Bungie has parted ways with Activision ahead of their 10-year original contract. This means that Bungie will be self-publishing their titles if they decide to open up anything else other than Destiny. But of course, they're going to be publishing Destiny themselves in the future. And they announced this news on their blog by putting up this rather long-winded post, but I'll just read the last paragraph, which says, "Thank you so much for your continued support. Our successes owe no small part to the incredible community of players who have graced our worlds with light and life." Get the word light because they use light in the thing. "We know self-publishing won't be easy. No shit. There's still so much for us to learn as we grow as an independent global studio, but we see unbound opportunities and potential in Destiny. We know that new adventures await us all on new worlds filled with mystery, adventure, and hope. We hope you'll join us there. See you Starside." Signed off as Bungie. So, Nick, as a huge Destiny fan, what do you feel about Bungie?
I'd say a huge
parting
Destiny
ways?
customer as opposed to fan.
How many times did you buy Destiny 2, Nick?
3?
Two, but the third time was 3.
No, I bought it once, and then one was on Humble Bundle and one was on PlayStation Plus. So
Fuck, yeah.
So
technically, I paid for them, but it wasn't. I went out of my way to buy them.
Didn't you in like the first couple of weeks like return a copy and then get a copy back?
No. I bought a copy, then returned it, but I didn't buy it again since.
Okay, I thought you bought it.
And just for people who are only just joining us for the first time, how many times did you buy Destiny 1?
Oh, about 3 times, I think.
I think he's downplaying that, actually.
Sounds like it.
So, yeah, as someone who brought Destiny many times when it was being published by Activision, how do you feel about having to now buy it many times from the self-publishing company Bungie?
Yeah, good on them. They obviously weren't happy with their deal with Activision because the reports are saying that it's just been high-strung tensions the whole time they've been partners, but I'm keen to see what they do, but yeah, I don't not particularly enamored by it. So,
Kieran, you're the over Destiny person here.
I am. I don't think Bungie, since have ever been able to reach the heights of the first 3 Halo games. Like, in their period of time with Activision, they definitely haven't. And I think they need to go back and look at what made those 3 games so goddamn amazing. Destiny 2 was a step in the right direction, but you could feel like it felt the game wanted to be a Bungie game, but then it had been Activisioned all over the place. There was still kind of that.
What would you describe as the Activisioning all over it?
There was the inclusion of the microtransaction silver to purchase just cosmetics, or just the inclusion of any microtransactions, or
but more a game like that needs microtransactions to survive.
I don't want to say microtransactions are an exclusively Activision-y thing either.
No, but it still came off that way. I don't know. The game didn't feel like it was purely about the gameplay or purely about the story. It felt like the last expansion that was received by the game was the most, it felt almost like the original 3 Halo games, where it had this great story, but it had these great levels that you played through leading up to it. And there wasn't, slow progression or random worlds that were just kind of thrown in there for no reason. There was just a really good story with a well-built character that really enticed people to come play the game.
Well, from all accounts, a lot of Activision's stuff to Bungie and Destiny was them basically rushing them. Rushing each of the DLCs, probably rushing Destiny 2 in itself in the first place, ahead of when they would have actually preferred to have released Destiny 2. So I think it's a good thing that they're parting ways, because you can definitely tell they've had a lot of trouble there for a long time. And if they're getting rushed, then it's bad for the content, and it's not good for their money either, because people aren't going to want to buy it if they keep putting out half-assed stuff. Even though from everything I've read and here, Forsaken was a big uptick, of course, even though everyone hated the previous 2 DLCs that they put out before them. But I think it's going to be really interesting if we see Destiny 3 is the thing that comes out from them in the next couple of years after they go solo, or if they choose to just continue working on Destiny 2 and potentially making it more of a games for service type thing, I guess.
Here's something that I haven't seen many people talk about, because I don't know, but it's also a good move from Activision 2 to split with them, because it was a 4-game deal. And when Destiny 1 came out, it was the first major thing of its kind, persistent MMO/shooter thing. But at this current time, they're X amount of years into the deal, they've got Destiny 2, but how much competition have they got in that space now? They've got The Division, they've got Anthem coming out, they've got all those type of games to compete with. So it's maybe good to, maybe at the time the 4th game had come out, it was just such a saturated marketplace, it wasn't worth their time as well.
Well, I think when they signed the deal, it was a different world as well, and it's
exactly, yeah.
You're signing a 4-game contract for a game that would end up being like Destiny 2 at the moment.
Yeah,
it's Forsaken was basically a new game.
Exactly.
So you can't really, this whole 4-game deal. What's that even mean? If you make a 4-game deal these days for a game that's like Destiny, a persistent world that you're constantly updating and stuff like that, what does a 4-game deal even mean? It's 4 games, 4 updates. I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely mutually beneficial. It's not like Activision just dropped them for no reason or anything like that.
Well, that was the other thing I was wondering was, is this good for Activision in the long run? Because I would actually say Activision's in a bad place. My opinion on them. They've got Call of Duty, right? If you look at Activision, what do you think about Call of Duty? Of course, but without Destiny, they don't have another big, huge franchise anymore. They've just got Call of Duty. What do they have? There's nothing else there. They're out of all the big kind of publishers at the moment, they're probably one of the least impressives impressive ones, simply because all they have really is Call of Duty. They don't have many franchises under their belt. So it's like either I could see sometime soon either Activision purchasing another franchise to replace Destiny, or purchasing a studio to work on a property for them, solely for them to make up for this space. But I don't see them just sitting still and happy to have the empty space Bungie's left and be like, oh, this is fine. We'll run off Call of Duty forever. I don't see that working at all.
I don't know, Dylan. I think they're pretty sure they had two of the biggest franchises of the last 2 years in Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. So
is Crash Bandicoot a franchise now? Are we considering it a franchise after they put out a remake?
They're doing Crash Team Racing.
Another remake.
And they got that Sekiro Shadows Die Twice coming out.
That's a pretty niche market, to be honest.
Yeah, that's not a franchise. A lot of buzz
about it.
Yeah,
it's not going to bring in a constant.
It's not going to do Call of Duty or Destiny numbers, though.
Not with that fucking attitude.
Boom.
Yeah. What do you reckon about Activision, Kieran?
It's interesting. I guess with Activision, they have, they heavily have Blizzard to lean on. Blizzard's going to be pumping out money forever because fucking World of Warcraft's not going to die.
Neither's another game I hear about.
Pardon?
Neither's another game I hear about.
Do you hear about another Blizzard game at all?
Yeah. Diablo.
Yeah.
Heroes of the Storm. Oh, wait. No, that game is dying.
StarCraft 3.
Hearthstone. Hearthstone's very, very well for them. Doing very well for Blizzard.
Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal. Doing very... Wait, what?
That's, definitely a Blizzard game.
Nope, not Overwatch. Overwatch. That's the game. Sorry. Don't know how that slipped my mind for a second there.
It's also going to be interesting. Since you brought up Blizzard, I just remembered the whole, because they were partnering. Destiny was on the Blizzard.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's
PC,
what I'm just thinking is that the biggest loss for Destiny in this terms is BattleNet. Is not being part of the BattleNet infrastructure. They now have to have an infrastructure that will support, friends lists and partying up and matchmaking, and they're going to have to put in all that infrastructure that was originally done by BattleNet, which is a very big change for them. So it'll be interesting to see.
Well, yeah, this is the thing we're going to see happen is because Blizzard, Bungie can't just walk around and suddenly just start, with the staff they've got at the moment, just start publishing their games and hosting it on PC, as I was just talking about then, all fine. They're going to have to hire a fuck ton more people and learn about a lot of stuff they didn't know about before, because the publishing business is, of course, completely different to development side, and that's why publishers exist in the first place. So, yeah, I feel like it's a huge decision for them to make, really, to say, hey, we'll just go and publish this ourselves.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make other deals with publishers, kind of like to remain independent, but also publish through those companies, kind of like, say, Insomniac or something like that.
It would be interesting to see if somebody like Big Daddy Epic Games would come along and be like, hey, give us store exclusivity on PC. And
that could be a thing.
We'll hook you up. I think it would be interesting if, Epic Games or Steam or somebody comes along and goes, that stuff you're losing with them, come give us exclusivity, or come to us as like your main focal point, and we'll do that for you. That's fine.
Steam ain't going to do that. I can guarantee you that. But I could see Epic Games.
Epic Games, Steam, yeah, definitely.
Steam might change their tune with how Epic's going, but
even Discord.
Even Discord has a marketplace now, everybody.
They do. They do. And they're offering a better rate than Epic Games in fact, to developers. So that whole war rages on. It's an interesting thing to see happen, and I definitely couldn't have predicted it, to be honest. I wouldn't have seen Destiny or Bungie parting ways from Activision, but here we are, early 2019. Going to be pretty interesting to see where Bungie is come the end of the year, I feel, and what's happened with Destiny and what many changes have happened.
Have they said what's actually happening with Destiny 2? Like, is it getting removed from BattleNet or anything, or is it just
no? It's still technically an Activision game, so
yeah,
that would stay there until they decide to close service or something.
Yeah, cool.
Which I would imagine wouldn't be till Destiny 3. I'm assuming that they're relying on continued sales and revenue from Activision.
They might have a deal with
Destiny
Activision
2
to go. Yeah.
Yeah, they might have a deal to a certain point, but I wouldn't even say Destiny 3. I'd say into whatever the next presumable expansion.
You would
is
assume
Destiny
it'd be
2.
You'd assume it'd be 3. Because Destiny 2 would still be part of the Activision deal, I'd imagine.
I believe they own the IP to it, so I don't know if they...
Well, they would have
But
had
it's
to
still
have, that's the
published
thing, is
through
They would have had
Activision.
to have brought the IP to walk away with it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they would have had to buy out Activision or something along those lines to keep their IP to walk away with, I think.
I don't know. We don't know enough about the backroom stuff.
No,
So
and
it's
we
hard to
probably
say.
never will, unless someone does a nice documentary or something about it one day.
But yeah.
Do it, Danny O'Dwyer or someone. I don't know, whoever.
Come on, Jason Schreier.
help me out.
You're not doing anything.
Yeah, someone who's got some
No,
free
Bungie
time.
retains ownership of the Destiny intellectual property.
Yeah, but
But how? Is the
yeah,
question.
they own the IP, but that doesn't mean they own the publishing rights of Destiny. Destiny 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm assume there's still some split in the revenue, so they'd want to keep it going for a while
A little while.
to fund whatever they're doing next. Because it's not going to be cheap to self-publish as well. So
No. Well, no. That's what I'm saying. They have to hire more people. So
Yeah.
I don't know how. Considering we kept reading that apparently Destiny was doing bad money-wise, I don't know if it was doing bad money-wise, but Activision kept saying it wasn't selling as much as they would have liked. Whether or not that means copies of the game compared to Bungie was actually doing money-wise, I was doing well off cosmetic items being brought in the game and such, but the game wasn't selling enough copies to please Activision. I don't know. It's really confusing when it's like, the game isn't selling enough, but Bungie's like, no, we're good. We got money. It's fine. So it's confusing.
maybe they're just really good at saving.
Potentially. I don't know.
They're just really responsible with their money.
Bungie's only been 20 people this whole time.
Yeah.
They've just been lying about their numbers. Now they're going to hire up to 30 for publishing sakes. All right. Let's talk about what we've been playing. I smashed a few games while it was on a holiday period. So we'll talk about some, and then we'll talk about everything that everyone else has been playing as well, of course. The first thing I tried out was Into the Breach, which of course I was trying out because it was such a 2018 best of, it was on a lot of people's best of lists.
Strategy game of the year.
Strategy game of the year. That's true. Ash talked about it previously on this show, of course, when he was trying it out on his super souped up laptop that was playing that there game.
Yeah.
I brought it on the Switch because it was on sale. Didn't love it. I didn't love it, to be honest. I did not love it. I think it was because I didn't feel like I was progressing at all, really. There's nothing wrong with the game being hard and me having to retry the level or anything like that, but there's only so many times, and it's not that I hate roguelikes either, because if you don't know, the thing about this game is you play as a time traveler or something along those lines, you travel back in time, you start, and then if you fail enough times or like enough civilians die or something along those lines, you will have to restart the game from level 1.
Yep.
And there's little to no progression that carries over, really.
No, it's skill based.
Yeah. Look at Ash, just being like, fuck you and Nick suck, get out of here. Did you feel that, you said you feel the same way about this to me, Nick?
Yeah, it's not so much the progression thing. I think I went into it wanting something that it wasn't trying to be. Like, seeing the screenshots and all that and the videos, I was expecting more of an Advance Wars type game, but this just didn't tickle the itch that I was after. So yeah, I didn't particularly enjoy it. I'm not saying it's a bad game, but it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm not saying I don't think it's a bad game at all. I just don't think it was for me, and it definitely wasn't what I was looking for on my Switch, like in that sort of style.
No. I think when you work it out, you'll enjoy it more.
No, because I deleted it, so I'm never going
Yeah,
back to it.
I'm talking about the people in general.
Talking about games I haven't been enjoying as much as I'd like to, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Super Duper 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 Ultimate Edition, bros. So everyone but Ash has been playing a little bit.
I've played a little bit, yeah.
Excuse me? Oh yeah, you borrowed
He stole
it.
his
Okay.
brother's.
Yeah,
No, my brother goes.
You have access to a Switch now.
I keep forgetting I have to take into account Ash stealing
He steals
family
his brother's
members' switches for Switch-related content. I can't just check his profile. Has Ash been playing this game? No, he hasn't. Not gonna.
Oh, you have a profile and you haven't added me as a friend? I feel
No, I haven't got a profile. I don't know what you.
I haven't got a profile.
Why don't you make one? You can make more than one.
Yeah,
on
I probably
Switch.
don't. I haven't got around to it
Probably
yet.
just should make one and then
I
add
haven't
us.
got round to it yet, he says.
No, I've barely touched his Switch, to be fair.
Explosion Network family drama on this here arcade couch happening right now. Why haven't you made a profile and added us as your friend?
Making secret profiles. God damn.
Jesus, what are you doing? Well, apparently all of us have been playing Smash, or so I now hear. So I'm probably the most down on it. So, and I had no idea until 2 seconds ago that Ash was even playing it. So I'll start with let's start with Nick because he was playing it right before we started recording. How are you feeling about Smash?
Well, I had never really played a Smash game before this, and watching the videos and that beforehand, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'll like this, because I didn't enjoy PlayStation Battle, whatever the fuck that was.
Royale Superstars.
The rip-off Smash Brothers, yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't know why I bought it, but I did. I thought I'd give it a go because I thought it might be something Stacey and I could play.
Because you're a sheep, Nick.
I am a sheep. And I am, really enjoying it. I don't know if it's because it's my first Smash game and I don't really have any others to compare it to, but it's fun. You just jump in and
What are you playing there? Because are you playing a lot with Stacey?
Well,
are you playing a lot of World of Light?
I actually haven't played any with Stacey so far. I think I've only had it a week, but I'm just progressing through unlocking all the characters.
So World of Light or just arcade mode?
Just just arcade Smash mode or whatever it is.
Yeah, okay.
I found a thing where if you do 1 minute matches, beat a character, turn the console off, turn it back on, and but I'm really enjoying it.
Kieran.
I really love Smash. I really enjoyed World of Light. I need to put more time into and go back to. I think the whole spirit system is super odd, and just the whole RPG kind of element to the World of Light I find really strange. It's really fun though. It does seem at some points, and you could honestly be like, get good, but there are some characters that always seem a little bit unbalanced, and when you've only got certain characters to play with in World of Light mode, it restricts you. Like, you run into Bayonetta, I'm like, I'm going to be stuck here playing against Bayonetta for the next hour trying to beat her because she has bullshit counters. So, World of Light, I've got to go back to you, but just playing just classic Smash style, or just going and playing and sitting and just queuing Smash over and over and over again, just having fun. It's been really great. I've really enjoyed it. Just chilling out and just, testing out new characters, trialing different things. I've really enjoyed it. It's been really great.
Have you been playing with people at all or just by yourself?
Just by myself mainly. I've played a little bit with people. Christmas Eve was the only time I have mainly played. I played with a couple friends, but other than that, mainly by myself, just chilling.
I love how all of us so far just we're playing Smash by ourselves.
Playing Smash by ourselves.
The premier solo Nintendo
The thing is,
game.
I need to get good before I play against people, You just got to...
Fair enough. Ash, I've heard that you've played this game.
It's just more Smash. I mean, it's a good product, I think, with all the different characters. Obviously, it's got everything in it. It's pretty much a soundtrack collection with a game chucked in. So, yeah.
Ash saw a meme on the internet. Thought he'd say it on the podcast.
Yeah, why not?
That's true.
Yeah, so I've been playing with my brothers and get into fights in game
you've been playing
out of game.
Out of all of us, you've actually been playing with people.
Yeah, I've been playing with people.
Yeah, the rest of us are just playing the game. It's not supposed to be played. Yeah.
Who's everyone's go-to character?
I've got your boy Link,
Kirby,
Captain Falcon, Kirby, fucking Kirby.
Yeah, I'm one of them people.
Fucking Kirby.
I really wanted to unlock Snake because I thought I'd like him, but I don't like the way he plays. So.
Nah, Snake's hard. The character I want to get to is Cloud, so I can play a fuck ton of Cloud.
Oh yeah, but I've been playing as Young Link.
Young Link.
Toon Link is where it's at.
Sorry,
Toon Link is where it's at.
I haven't unlocked Toon Link.
We need an Explosion Network Battle of the Links featuring Kirby. Then it seems
No, and we won't, primarily because I think I'm probably going to trade the game in.
Ooh.
Because
Ooh.
But you haven't got Piranha Plant yet. You don't know if you'll like it.
Have you entered the Piranha Plant code in yet?
no, I haven't
Maybe
done
you
any
just
of these
haven't
things.
found the character for you yet, Dylan.
Maybe I'm not. Well, here's my thing, right? Smash is fun with other people because I feel like it does. I'm not great at the game, but I feel like if I'm playing with other people, it's fun no matter what because the game's just fun. But the main reason I got this one day one is because I was hoping World of Light would be fun for me because it was, the Wii U Smash, which I got and played for a little while as well, and I didn't love either. That didn't have any single player game to it, and I was like, this isn't really doing anything for me because I don't have people to play it with. This one, I was like, cool, World of Light. I know people are saying it isn't anything amazing, but I'm still like, it's single player content I can focus on. Hopefully, they'll like give me some fun times, but it's just not good. I don't feel like. It is boring, in fact, is the way I'll describe World of Light. It is boring. You get that really cool opening cinematic, and then from there, it is, it's just very bland and boring, and the spirit stuff is just, well, it's just fighters with modified elements, It's like, hey, you're fighting such and such, but they're really, like, they can counter your moves really good. Or you're fighting this person and air attacks do no damage to them. Or you're fighting this person and, like, it's all just tweaks and stuff like that, which, sure, that might be good for people who want to practice and get really good at the game, but I was more in for a fun single player
Crazy
story,
story,
I guess. Yeah. Well,
Like
not even just a story,
the Wii
just more of
version
just something along those lines. Or even your general fighting game story. You're like, your Tekkens, your Street Fighter, your Mortal Kombats, your whatever. Like just a normal single player fighting game story where you fight a bunch of characters. Yeah, and just something.
So what you're saying is you're going to trade in Smash Brothers
for Mortal
and
Kombat?
putting it against your $500 Mortal Kombat Collector's Edition.
That's collector's edition is really expensive, but that's a whole different thing. I don't think that's worth the money at all. But yeah, I wanted to love it, and it's nothing against the game. It's just I do just feel like for me in my position, it's not much fun. I wanted Smash to be fun in portable mode, and I wanted to be able to enjoy knocking out some single player stuff for 10 minutes at a time here and there. But I'm definitely not finding it fun. And there's only so many Smash rounds I can do that before I get bored, So I wanted single player mode to tie me over. Because if it was your traditional fighting game single player mode, it would be like, okay, I have to finish the game with every character to see their story or whatever type of story, because that's usually how it works. You play through, there's a little bit of different story, but of course you finish the game in most fighting games and you always fight the same boss, and they always ends the same basically. But yeah, it looks great. It plays like Smash, which means it plays great. Even in handheld mode, I was like, this runs really well in handheld mode. I'm impressed. Very great job, everyone. The music's fucking fantastic because it has 1,000,001 different characters in it. It says right on the back, they're all here. They are indeed all here, everyone. The only reason I'd want to keep it is to see for the Persona stuff, to see how the hell that translates into Smash, just out of interest. But I'm like, I can probably just watch a video and be like, that works out well. Yeah. So that's Dylan's sad Smash story. But I'm glad everyone else is having a great time playing it. All right, another game I played and actually did something that I talked about on either this podcast or Platt at some stage. I think I mentioned here
mentioned it on Platt.
couple weeks. I think I mentioned it everywhere at this point, but I kept being like, hey, before Doom Eternal comes out, I need to go back and have another go at Doom because I don't think I was in the right mindset when I played it originally, and I'd like to try it again. Well, I went back and I tried out Doom, and Doom is fucking great, everyone, and boy, was I wrong.
You know what? I was mentally preparing myself for you to be like, you know what? Still shit. And I would have been like, Dylan.
No.
Dylan, no.
Doom's great. But I think it literally is, as I tried explaining for why I didn't like it in the first place. And I think it is because the first time I tried to play it, for whatever reason, I went in and was trying to play it like a normal FPS and not like a Doom game. Whereas this time, because I had recently, I say a couple months ago, I watched the No Clip Doom documentary, and just watching people play that game, I was like, yeah, I wasn't playing it like this at all. Like, you know, like I was looking for cover. I was trying to slow down, and as you do with normal first-person shooters, you kind of get behind cover and you take people out and
No, we do.
Whatever.
You just fucking run at them.
Yes, which is now what I did. And yeah, Doom's great. Doom is absolutely fantastic. I've pretty much been. There's some of the thing kind of like with Celeste. I already loved I'd listened to the soundtrack. I already knew I loved the Doom soundtrack. I love it even more that I've had to actually experience the songs within their actual context within the game. And pretty much ever since I finished it a couple of weeks ago, or last week, I think, I've just been pumping the Doom OST constantly over and over and over, and I can't stop listening to it. And I'm really fucking excited for Doom Eternal right now. So Doom Eternal went from 0 fucks given by Dylan to give me Doom Eternal right now, please. Because, yeah, Doom's great. And it is that thing where you just have to play it like a Doom game, which is you're meant to glory kill everyone. You run up to the face of someone, you fucking shoot them in the testicles, they start glowing colors, and then you rip their head off and stick the gun down and whatever else. But you're supposed to glory kill everyone. And I think the first time I tried to play the game, I wasn't trying to, I was just trying to shoot everyone to kill them. But it's like, that's not how you kill people. You're meant to glory kill everyone in horribly grotesque and amazing fashion. So, looks great, plays great, soundtrack's amazing. Story is there, I guess is the way to describe it. Epic boss battles, really great atmosphere. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Doom Eternal now this year, and I'm glad I can be aboard that excitement train. In fact, one thing I haven't done that I probably might do after recording now, because I just suddenly thought of it, I need to go watch the Doom Eternal E3 trailer and actually see if I enjoy it now. Because of course when I watched it, I was like, yeah, Doom, cool. I've got nothing, but maybe now when I watch it,
now you're like, Doom, yes. Cool.
Yeah, Doom, cool, guns. I enjoy these things. This is great. Another game I played finally after we talked much about it on Plat as well, I believe, at some point, is The Quiet Man. Now, does anyone have questions? Because it's a game.
Yes,
I have no... If you don't know what The Quiet Man is, it's a game in which you play as a...
deaf?
Like, you're a deaf character, but like you're not like a hitman. You're part of like a mob group, and you're like an enforcer, I guess.
Standover man.
Yeah, and you happen to be deaf.
That's a great game.
And you happen to get bossed around and told to do these things, and it takes about 2 to 3 hours to finish. It's a weird combination of live action scenes that meld into actual gameplay elements. The gameplay is just really, really bad beat 'em up that never explains the controls to you at all. Like, the game starts with an opening like live action shot sequence, and then it like you saw, it starts the way we saw at the E3 trailer. Like he walks into the alleyway, he starts shit with these dudes in the alleyway, and then all of a sudden you're fighting them. And I kept waiting for it to come up on the screen, like press square this, press this button to counter. I'm like, it doesn't tell you. So I click the pause button. I'm looking for the controllers in the options menu. It doesn't even have a controller configuration. In fact, it has a screen where it tries to explain the control system to you with horribly drawn drawings that I couldn't really figure out. And I still have no idea if I was pressing all the right buttons. I figured out you could counter eventually and dodge and stuff by just randomly pressing buttons. But yeah, this game from start to finish is one of the weirdest fucking things I have ever played. And like, I don't just mean weird like, oh, it's a game where you play as a deaf character, and like, it is odd. You literally sit there at times for 5 to 10 minutes watching conversations happening with characters moving their mouth, like live action shot stuff with real actors, and they're on screen moving their mouths for 5 to 10 minutes, and you can't hear any of it. And you're like, this is a thing I'm sitting here doing? Like, why is this happening? And then you get to the end of the game and it goes weird. The storyline goes weird, and that's one thing. But then, of course, because the DLC's out now, where it lets you play the game and hear stuff. That's the thing. It's a free update. So when you finish the game, it's like, hey, it literally does a thing where it starts rewinding through parts of the plot and stopping randomly. Like it rewinds a little bit and it lets you hear what that character was saying at that point. And it's like, oh shit. And then it rewinds a bit further and you hear another scene. You're like, oh shit, rewinds. And it rewinds all the way to the start of the game. It's like the truth or whatever will be revealed. Start the game again. I was like, well, fuck, I'm not playing for this horrible piece of shit again. No way. But I'll play through the first like level to just to see how much more this new mode adds. And boy, oh boy, that it is everything. It's not just, hey, you can suddenly hear what the characters are saying. There is sound effects, there is music, there is also like, it's basically, I feel like they made the game like that first and then stripped away the everything. File? Yeah. And then removed the audio file basically. I was like, this is what we'll do. We'll put out the game, let everyone play through it as the deaf character first. And it's not like, hey, this is a good take and you get to really experience what it's like as a deaf person. It is not that at all. It is a horrible take of using like the idea of being deaf as a gimmick to set up like the game. Because it is a gimmick, because especially by the end, you get to the end of the game, it's like, hey, now you'll be able to hear. It's like, yeah, this whole fucking thing about being deaf is 100% a gimmick. I looked up what happens, the story that you get to discover if you play through the game and get to hear everything. And boy, oh boy, I was like, I can't believe someone made this. This is absolutely nuts. But the Quiet Man is a thing that exists, and I wouldn't suggest anyone play it. But it is a game. It is definitely
There's something
a game.
funny. On the Steam page, it's got like a bunch of ticks for languages, and it's got English, tick for interface, tick for full audio.
Yeah, I suppose if you... But I mean, it's not nothing. Like, when say someone's talking to you, you hear like you hear a noise that's like, you get like, I don't know if that's really how, I don't know anything about what it's like to be deaf, of course. I have no idea if this
It depends on your level of hearing impairment.
Okay.
To what you can hear. So I guess that his level of hearing impairment was that, you know, the cochlea wasn't, like the eardrum and stuff was still getting some kind of sound. It just wasn't interpreting the sound fully.
Yeah.
It's
so
probably what it is.
That's probably what it is then. Because if someone's talking on screen, you would hear a noise that's them talking. But if no one was talking, there'd be no noise, of course. But yeah, it's a fucking game.
The top review on Steam is, they tried to be artsy-fartsy with this game, but it isn't artsy, it's just fartsy.
That's,
Good on your Steam reviews. Good job.
That's a good way to sum it up, I guess. What makes it worse, though, before I move on from this one, is the gimmick is bad, the acting is bad, the gameplay itself, like if that was supposed to be a saving grace, the gameplay is also so bad. Like, you'll do like counter takedown moves to people and like they'll glitch out through walls and all these sorts of things. And it's just a beat 'em up that's boring. Like, there's no like cool combo system or takedown moves or anything. It's just pretty much spam X on it. Spam square on enemies to punch them, dodge here and there where you can, and that's the game. So it's not even fun to play. And it's not fun to play through the first time either, because you can't, like, there's nothing to grab you, because you can't you don't know what's happening at all. Full stop. You literally have no idea what is happening in the plot unless you play through that DLC one.
Would it be a fun thing to do to be like, you know, to stream it, to make up the plot, to try and make up the plot on stream?
Well, I saw a lot of people, I can't remember if I was looking in the thread I was looking at on Reddit to explain the actual plot, because I was like, I need to at least understand what the fuck is happening, because it was doing my mind in, of course. And people in there were like, yeah, this game's fucking horrible, but I streamed it on Twitch and me and my viewers were just making up trying to figure out what people were saying as we went. And that was kind of fun. I was like, well, at least people on Twitch got to have fun.
And then seeing how far off you were by playing it again, if you would.
Playing it again and be like, well, we got everything 100% wrong, but that's fine. And then the last game I've been playing a lot on my phone that I wanted to shout out is a little game called Unicycle Giraffe. I've tweeted out a few videos of this in the last week. Very simple game, but it's very cool. It's free. I'd say I'd suggest if people like it, give it a download. The artwork is done by the same people did like Adventure Pals, which I really liked last year.
Oh, okay.
That kind of cool art style, and it's very simple. You're a unicorn. You're a
giraffe,
but you can buy a unicorn, which I did for $1.50. And then. and then you're a unicorn on the unicycle or a giraffe, and you simply tap left or right on the screen, and you try and get a high combo as long as you can go. But the music's nice, and it's been my go-to. Like, oh shit, I've got 5 minutes with nothing to do here, and I pull out unicycle giraffe. And at the moment, I have the second highest score on the iPhone leaderboards, and someone above me has like 900 and something, and the highest I've got is like 340 seconds. And I'm like, they're cheating. They're 100% cheating because there's no fucking way you can play this game for 900 and something.
No,
that's way too long.
That seems impossible. I've played it as well. I've got my high score is 151. So
yeah,
I'm number 5 on the Google store.
Number 5. Look, Explosion Network members out here fucking rocking it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I didn't know you played it, Ash.
I saw you and Sheree on it, so I thought I might as well boot it up.
Yeah, well, I downloaded
it's
it
free,
and I took a screenshot
so.
And I tweeted it. I messaged Sheree and was like, "You'll probably like this." So,
is it? Would you describe it as cute?
I would describe the game as.
Yeah,
cute.
It's a cute.
Hashtag cuties.
You like it? You like it though, Ash? You enjoy
it's all right. It's a little bit frustrating. It's as soon as you fall over a bit too much, there's like nothing you can do. So no matter how much you tap, you're just destined to fall over.
It's a metaphor for life.
Yeah, pretty much.
It sure is. But yeah, that's been holding my attention at the moment for a go-to mobile game. Another game you've been playing, Ash, Battle Chasers Night War.
Yeah, so this is like RPG. A turn-based RPG based on a comic series from back in the 90s. I think it was made created by Joe Madeira. He's a famous comic book artist. It's like your basic turn-based RPG, like your Final Fantasy, that sort of thing. You'd like turn-based combat, and then you have like an overworld which you explore in like a 2D top-down thing, and then you go into dungeons, and then it's more of an isometric sort of plane. But yeah, it's all right. I'm mostly playing it while I'm doing something else, but yeah. It's enjoyable.
How far are you into it?
I probably put like 2-3 hours, maybe more, into it. I haven't got very far. I've still got to unlock one more character. So
every time I see it, I'm like, it looks cool, but my worry is
the art style is dope. But
yeah, the art style is really good.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that has attracted me to it. But
yeah,
I'm hoping it's more like what I refer to kind of as a South Park RPG length, where it's like 20 hours compared to, hey, we're making an RPG, better make it fucking 80 to 100 hours. So,
yeah.
I mean, if you finish it, let me know.
If I finish it, I'll let you know, yeah.
I guess, yeah. But no, it looks cool. Came out last year, didn't it? Last year? Or
2017.
Yeah.
It was like a Kickstarter thing.
Yeah. Nick, you've been playing a few games as well. Let's start with your DCS update, I guess.
So the people I play with have started playing on this new Cold War server, and it has given me a reason to go back and learn the MiG-21, which I bought, I want to say 6 to 8 months ago on a sale, but I never really had a reason to learn how to fly it because in the servers we had been playing on, it's kind of outclassed by all the modern stuff.
Do you have to buy each plane?
Sorry?
Do you have to buy each plane like a separate? Yeah. How much are they?
They can vary. Like, I think the Tomcat's coming out at $80 US.
Fucking what?
How? 80 US? Yeah. Holy shit.
How much is this, the MiG-21G plane?
I think I bought it 50% off. I think it was, I want to say $30 US.
Is 50%
off at $30?
Yeah.
Is there much difference between each plane? Do you feel like you're getting your money's worth?
Oh, 100%, yeah. They're like full-fledged, like down to the fucking screw simulations, and there's a lot of work that goes into them.
Yeah, but do they fly different? Do you feel the difference?
100%, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no plane really flies like a different one, so.
I guess it's different to something like Forza where it feels like most of the cars sort of are the same.
No.
Shut the hell up. We'll get to Forza in a minute.
Very, very different flight envelopes.
Okay, more like a Burnout or something where it's just, or Need for Speed, it's like, the car looks nice.
Well,
it's nothing like that.
I don't know, Ash, how you go.
It's kind of like all the different characters in Overwatch and how like they all kind of feel the same.
All kind of feel the same, yeah.
All right, which one of you am I coming over to your hometown and punching on with? Them be fighting words.
Continue, Nick. So you've got the MiG-20 whatever, 21.
MiG-21, yeah. I'm enjoying learning how to play it. It's definitely a different very different experience because it's all very analog and the radar's not very good and it's outdated kind of stuff. So it's a learning experience, definitely.
How many planes have you bought?
I'd have to look at it, but I think I have about 5 different planes and 4 helicopters.
Are the helicopters like much harder to do? Like, what do you prefer, helicopters or planes?
I like them both. I really like flying the Huey, but yeah, I guess it just depends what kind of mood I'm in.
I'm sure pilots are like that as well.
Yeah. What will I fly today?
What do I feel like taking out today?
Go off your Tom Cruise. Okay, talk about Forza then. Let's talk about Forza. You've played about 2 to 3 hours of Forza. What?
Yes, I did.
Hold on, I'll say, because the other game we're going to talk about in a minute is Sea of Thieves. What made you finally jump these both on your PC, pick up the Game Pass, whatever you've...
Well, I picked up the Game Pass again for Sea of Thieves, but I remember being interested in Forza Horizon, and I remember telling you that I'll probably never buy it, and so now I've got a reason to download and play it, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, it reminds me of like Test Drive Unlimited and Midnight Club 3 Dub, where it's just the open world type of racing game, which is not too hardcore sim like, but it's enjoyable enough, and you feel like you've got a good handling on it. So yeah, I'm enjoying doing it.
Get to run into your mate, Viva La Dill.
Yeah. It reminds me of growing up as a young boy in a little English village too.
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing with Forza is you can make it more simmy if you want to. Like, there is the
you
options
can.
on
There's
there.
definitely lots of options to turn off ABS and increase the handling and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and there's the menus where you can save custom tweaks for literally all your car settings and stuff. But if you just want to play it more arcadey, you can just buy cars and whatever.
Yeah,
but there's still like a million and one parts. And like, there's one thing that a lot of people I've seen fuck up do because they think they're playing like Need for Speed Underground when I randomly click on streams, which is that they will upgrade everything on their car. Like, they'll go for it and they'll just go for every option. They're like, upgrade the engine, upgrade the suspension, whatever, upgrade all these things. And then at the end, they'll be like, oh, fuck, actually, there's a better engine I could buy or whatever. And they change the engine, but then they need to change everything else too, because once you change it, like, if you go from a V6 to a V12, all the upgrades you just brought don't carry over. You have to rechange everything. But no one, like, that's probably as much, like, player tip I can give with, you can kind of get blindsided by that, but that's as bad as simmy as it gets unless you want to make it more simmy.
It's definitely on the simmier side as opposed to the Need for Speed arcadey style, but it's, I want to say, like, sim light, I guess.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like, that's the thing.
It's really fun.
Great soundtrack as well. I think it's a really pretty game.
I saw you online racing today. Your name come up, so.
How do you like, because this is your first Forza game, right?
Yeah.
How do you like the play, what they call it, player avatars, whatever they call them.
Playatars or car avatars or driver cars.
Car avatars, whatever. Yeah, because it
so
grabs.
Stupid.
You don't like it, really?
It just feels unnecessary to me.
Why are
they dance moves and all that? And I can understand having
they're removing
those.
those.
I can understand having an avatar for story purposes, like they're interacting and whatever. But as a general, like how fleshed out it is, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like something I want to engage in my racing game.
What's Dylan's Drivatar like? Because I remember
I haven't seen it.
When they first brought Drivatars in, I had a friend message me and goes, "Hey man, I was playing Forza. Why does your driver keep crashing into me?" I'm like, it's probably how I drove. Yeah, I like to crash into things.
One thing that annoys me though is like I'll be driving along, I'll see, I don't know, players that I recognise, like you, Brendan 8-Bit and that, and then I'll go K down the road and then they'll show up again. It's just
you're like what?
They're just really
you're like
fast.
2 to 3 hours in, right? So you're still cycling through each of the seasons. Like, what season?
I've just gone into order and I've only got 2 cars so far.
Yeah, okay. So how the game works is you'll get these player avatar things that are happening at the moment. The game makes you do a certain amount of missions, and it'll cycle you through every season and get you to experience a little bit of each of them and see what they're about. It'll then bring you into the actual online. Consistently online version of the game, it'll bring you into whatever season the game's in at the moment, because the seasons just change once a week, then that's when you can have your game online and it'll be populated by real life players.
Yeah.
So you can get there faster because you don't need to do as many events in each season as you need to. But where you're at in the game at the moment is basic. I wouldn't say the tutorial area, but you're not up to the seamless online version
you're in a
quite yet.
singular instance of the game. You're not in the main world.
I think I'm going to turn off player names because it really takes me out of it seeing... Because there's no way I could have passed, for example, Viva La Dill and then fucking a K down the road, Viva La Dill's there again. And then again...
He just knows all the shortcuts, Nick.
Yeah, right.
Well, you'll have this problem solved once you get into the actual online world or whatever you want to refer to it as. Because then you'll have random people just driving past you and be like, where are they going? And you can follow them and be like, oh, they were going to this race or they were going to this secret or whatever. Well, and then, of course, the other thing you've been playing, or the reason you got Game Pass for Sea of Thieves, which I think is really weird because considering when Sea of Thieves originally came out and was all like, maybe we'll get trials of Sea of Thieves, we'll try it, blah, 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 blah. And I was on board this, and then pretty much 2 days after watching people on stream, Twitch stream and stuff, I was like, holy fuck, this looks boring. Yeah, and I noped out. And I think you did pretty much as well. So
yeah. Which incidentally is kind of the reason I'm getting back into it, because Stacey's been watching a lot of Dr. Disrespect Shroud and Summer 1G, and they've been playing it a lot. And
it's like the most popular game on stream at the moment or something somehow.
Yeah, those three. Yeah.
And
ridiculous.
from what I've seen, it looks a lot more fleshed out than the initial stages, so I'm keen to jump in and give it a go, and it'll be another game that Stacey and I can play together as well. So, and it doesn't look too hardcore in-depth to like not enjoy it casually, so I'll be keen to give it a go. I've downloaded it, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Kieran, you of course jumped on board day one and then noped out like a week later because you was bored. So how do you feel about Sea of Thieves these days?
I'd already downloaded it beforehand because I think like I'd been looking for games to play as kind of just chill out games with friends instead of Overwatch.
Overwatch is chill. What are you saying? I don't know what you're saying.
Just created a 6th account to chill.
Overwatch gets sweaty. But
how are you playing Overwatch?
Pardon?
How are you playing Overwatch? Did you get sweaty?
Overwatch gets sweaty, man. Some games get intense. Sweaty.
Not when you create a 20th account to play.
Nah, on your main
to practice
account,
your fucking McCree strats.
Well, I could just practice Viva McCree, you know? You got to learn how to flashbang roll right click people.
Exactly.
It's a whole strategy.
People just don't understand, do they?
They just don't understand. You understand though, Nick, and I'm so proud.
They just mock what they fear.
Exactly. They do. They do indeed. It's so great to have another understanding voice here on the
Sometimes
podcast.
I wonder how stuff comes across in the final version of this podcast, especially when I get to stare at these two faces that are just smirking with absolute sarcasm 100%. But I'm like, when people listen, does it come across the way that we're viewing it happen, or...
Shit. But Sea of Thieves, there was something there. There was always something there that I wanted to jump into when I wanted to play, but there was just not enough of it. There was just not enough there, or not enough people around to play with, or just... And it was always something I wanted to come back to. And now that I'm looking at more games to stream because I now have the capability to stream more games. Sea of Thieves was one of those where I was like, I could jump into Sea of Thieves and play some Sea of Thieves for a couple hours or something. So yeah,
very good. I know it was 50% off on the store today. Also,
well, I already have Game Pass, so
yeah. Well, I signed up $1 for the first month. I was like, why not try it?
Yeah. Game Pass is a good deal.
It's a great deal, especially when the whole Game Pass comes to PC. If you're a PC gamer,
yeah. Well, I've already gotten my $1 worth out of Forza.
Nice.
Forza's a great game.
It is. I'm enjoying it.
All right, and now I'm going to have joining me on the couch Twitch streamer, blogger, and Instagram specialist Rockamummy to talk about next week's big upcoming release, Kingdom Hearts 3. Joining me on the couch now is Rockamummy. We're going to be talking about some Kingdom Hearts because, of course, Kingdom Hearts 3 is finally, after 21 million years, 365 days, and many consoles later, finally coming out next week. How are you, Rockamummy?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm great, because Kingdom Hearts is finally coming out, and I'm pretty sure I played the first one when I was 1, and I played the second one when I was like 8, and now I'm 45-year-old man, and the third one's finally coming out. It feels like it's been that long.
Yeah, it was like, go put your name in the goblet, get that aging potion, grow that luscious beard.
Pretty much. And that's my Kingdom Hearts history. I played it as a kid. What is your history? Because you've just finished up streaming the second one on your channel.
Yeah, I recently finished it. Like, I remember playing parts of one, like, yonks and yonks ago, on my brother's PlayStation 2 at the time. And then I'm like, I wanted to play it again because for those who don't know me, I'm like freaking obsessed with Disney. Like, I don't even need to have an excuse. I have kids, but I don't use them as an excuse to watch fucking Disney because I'll watch it anyway.
That's the right way. That's the right way.
Yeah, marathon it all day. Yeah, so I'm fairly new to the consoles, really. I've only had my PlayStation for almost 2 years now, and I wanted to play a Disney game. And so I was sitting on it, and I'm like, fuck it, go and buy Kingdom Hearts. I've got the 1.1.
Don't even try and name. Like, no one can remember the name of those games.
I usually have it sitting next to me, but I don't have it to me. It's like 1.5 final mix and 2.5. The final mix with all the little movies and the 365 by 5 Birth by Sleep. And,
whatever.
There's another one. I don't know what it is.
It's the mobile one that they turned into a movie, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I think I started watching that and I got bored.
Recoded, uncoded, something.
Yeah,
something
recoded.
Like that.
That's the one. Yeah. So I decided to play through that. So I started that on stream last year, and I had a lot of fun with that, and it was a lot more difficult than I recalled, and I remembered that I didn't get through it as far through it as I thought I had, because I thought I'd completed it. But I think I only got up to Beauty and the Beast was in the second one. Yeah, because I remember playing the Beauty and the Beast level, and then I'm going to all the other levels into. I'm like, I don't fucking remember this. So that was kind of came like fresh and new. And yeah, I forgot where I was going with that.
Your history of the Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. So I'm essentially fairly new to the franchise of Kingdom Hearts. I don't know anything about Final Fantasy. Don't ask me about that. I'm like, it's Cloud and Sephiroth, and that's as far as I know.
I think I think you're on the side that most people who might be jumping into this one, because here's the thing: the second game came out is like over 10 years old, and anyone who's going to be jumping into 3 at this point who hasn't gone back and playing these ridiculous collections because they're like, I can't be bothered doing that. Most people are just going to be jumping into the games because they're like, oh cool, like Tangled characters, oh cool, Pirates Caribbean, oh cool, yeah. So like you're on the side that I reckon most people jump it, because most people jump into the game, and that's the reason I wanted it as a kid, is because I remember I was walking through a Kmart, and I saw it sitting there. Yeah, that's a whole thing as well. But I remember I was like strolling through and I looked at the back of the case, and I remember I saw all these Disney characters. I'm like, that's why I want this game. So like that's the attraction point. It's like it's a bunch of Disney characters.
Why I picked it up. It's Disney. I want a Disney game. Like, you don't get freaking Disney Lego games. Well, and they canceled Disney Infinity. Unless you count Incredibles, because that was great. But I tried Disney Infinity and I thought that was trash. So
no.
I came in late to that though. Like, as of last year, I plugged it in, and that's when the characters are really hard to find, and it just wasn't fun.
Disney Infinity this is a whole other thing, but Disney Infinity, I was so sad when it got cancelled, and only this past week they had video.
You probably feel the same way, because I feel the same sad about Skylanders getting cancelled, because I freaking love that.
Yeah, and I didn't really get into Skylanders, but yeah, they all died at the same point. They're like, this Toys to Life stuff.
Yeah, well Skylanders is now a mobile game, so yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's the thing. So most people who get into Kingdom Hearts for the Disney stuff, the thing with the Kingdom Hearts games though is its story is bonkers, nonsense. It's
convoluted.
Very convoluted. So
highly recommend watching a YouTube summary first.
100%.
I think I
that's
watched like 3 different ones.
yeah. I'm going to be, just so my mind is fresh with the information.
Yeah.
I plan on watching one of those half-hour to an hour ones on YouTube the day before Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to do it now.
I think just while it's downloading the day one patch update, I'll be watching.
That's probably the best way to go about it. So your mind's like full of all the Xenohearts and the nobodies with the Heartless, with the souls of the Organization 13 and Roxas and all this other stuff. Yeah.
Actor and Taro. These people.
Who are these people? Who really knows? So when you wrapped up Kingdom Hearts 2, what do you reckon your grasp on the overall story of the Kingdom Hearts world was?
What story? No, well, towards the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, I think because I finished it while I was technically on break from streaming. And it's one of those games where I was okay to play in front of my kids. So I just plugged my PlayStation in the TV and sit there. And I would sit there all day watching it, and my kids would be like, "Oh, can you play Kingdom Hearts today, Mum?" So they'd rather watch me do that than watch cartoons. So I smashed that out. But I found that the end, the story made a little bit more sense, and I was starting to make more of an effort to go through and read the journal entry, the Jiminy journal entries, which kind of helped me understand the story a bit more, because I didn't do that while I was streaming it, because nobody wants to sit there and watch me read text. But I think towards the end, I got a little bit of grasp, but I still think it's very hard to understand what's going on through the gameplay, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. As far as I'm concerned, the only people that really understand the story are the hardest of the hardcore people, because it is very convoluted, and to fully grasp the story going into 3, you have to play all of these games on the collection, including like watching the video clips from the mobile games and all these other sorts of things. That's why it's like, if people were to ask me, I'll just say do exactly what I'm going to do, which is watch one of these YouTube videos where people have condensed what you need to know to go in, especially if you're
I recommend reading like the wikis as well,
something like that.
Summary stuff that also helps.
Yeah, it's like, hey, this game has a bunch of Disney characters, how do I get into it? Just watch.
I know when I was smashing at the end of 2, every time a new character would come up that wasn't like Disney or something, I was bringing up the wiki, like, who is this character, and just doing a quick read of the summary for who it was, and then I got context and
all the Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, I'm like, who is this person with the red hair, or this chick with the bow? I don't know. Effie?
Yeah.
I don't know. Aerith, yeah.
Aerith?
God,
Final Fantasy 7?
Yeah, well, those Final Fantasy fans are going to come and shoot me because I called her Effie.
Yeah,
so.
That's fine. All right, so let's run down. I want to talk about all the worlds. Well, these are all the worlds that they've said are in the game, although, of course, they could have... and this is what I hope. I do actually hope that they have kept some secret, because I would like to be surprised.
Because there was, like, quite a few in 2. Not so much in 1, but there's quite a few in 2.
There is.
So I think they would, having taken this long, they would have wanted to expand on what they had a bit more. So maybe 3 extra than we're anticipating, maybe.
No, I hope so, because I just want the surprise of being like, I get to go to that world or something, because
you want that little hype excitement, and where your heart jumps into your throat. It's like, oh my god, I want this.
Yeah, because I didn't have any of them spoiled for 1 or 2 when I played them, and there were so many moments like, oh, Hercules, Alice in Wonderland, Tarzan, because I loved Tarzan as a kid. So
I was disappointed there was none of like the classic worlds in there, like with your princesses, like your Snow White or your Cinderella or your Sleeping Beauty. You would have thought they would have been in the first 2, because they're like Disney staples.
I suppose.
Really. That's just me.
Well, they did most of the princesses, like that was part of the storyline, but they didn't you didn't go to every world that the princesses were from.
You only went to Wonderland that had Alice,
but
then that was
briefly see them all at some point. I think
towards the end, when you go to Hollow Bastion and you defeat Riku for the first time, that fight was such a bitch.
I think I actually clicked on your stream when you were doing that. Actually.
I raged so hard at that so many times.
Yeah. It's funny.
I think I ended up completing it off stream and I recorded it so I could upload it to Twitch and like, see, I did do it.
Yep. That's it's I think I clicked on it, he was raging. I'm like, well, look, it's not mean to laugh if it's it's funny.
No, I go ahead and laugh. I don't care.
Okay, so the worlds we have in number 3, that they've said that all of these worlds are going to be like a lot bigger than the Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. So each of these worlds are kind of going to be more open. So they're like, because the original 2 games, like you could walk around, but they were pretty much like funneled through certain areas, like corridors, I guess. And there wasn't that much exploring to do. But for example, like one of the worlds is the Pirates of the Caribbean world, and apparently in that's pretty large, and you can walk around. And we've seen like the Tangled world, which is the Kingdom of Corona, or whatever it's called. Corona. Yeah.
Sounds like
exactly. That's why every time I say it, I double check myself because I'm like, is that right?
Because Corona is actually supposed to it means like sunlight or something in some language. I think.
Well, it means beer.
Let me Google. Let me fact check this. And this brings up beer.
Yeah.
Is Latin for crown.
Oh, okay, so Kingdom of Crown.
A corona is an aura of plasma that surrounds the sun and other stars. Okay, so that makes sense with the whole glowing shit.
Yeah.
With her hair.
And even after you've told me that, I'm going to be honest, every time I say it, still going to
think of the beer.
Still going to think of the beer. Still going to think of the beer. But yeah, we've seen the I'm just going to say Tangled World. I'm not going to say Kingdom of Corona because I'm like, we've seen in the Tangled World, like that's fairly large and open, like big plains of grass and hills and stuff like that. So the worlds are though. So you've got the Tangled World, you've got Big Hero 6's world, you've got Mount Olympus is returning, Twilight Town is returning, the Mysterious Tower is returning, which is kind of that's Twilight Town, but like it's a separate area.
Is that Yen Sid's?
No, it was like where I don't know, it's part of the really convoluted story. It's like a secret tower in Twilight Town that only opens and you have to get on a train to get there. Was that Yemsi? I've played it for a while. You know where you have to get on the train to get So that's the Mysterious Tower. And you've got the Toy Story world, you've got the Pirates of the Caribbean world, you've got the Frozen world, and then the last one is the Wreck-It Ralph world. So out of all those ones, which are the ones that you're most excited to play?
San Francisco with Big Hero 6 because I love that, and I think that's going to be really interesting to see how they do like the different styles of Heartless and Nobodies, and if there's going to be new little, what do you call them, ads, I suppose. And I think being able to utilize Baymax as part of your team is going to be really interesting. And I wonder how they're going to bring in like the whole like nanotech with the robots. Spoilers, sorry if you haven't seen it. Whoops. Into that Kingdom Hearts storyline, like with the villain from the film, who's not really a villain. Is he going to be part of Maleficent's plan? Because I'm assuming she's coming back.
So. She always comes back somehow.
She's like the Wicked Witch of the West. She doesn't die. So I mean, I'm keen to see how mainly the story around that and how they involve the story from the actual movie into this, how that works.
Yep.
I'm also keen for did you say in the Monsters Inc. world, Monstropolis?
Oh, sorry, I missed that one. Yeah, Monsters Inc.
Yeah, I'm keen for that one because I love those films so much. And I kind of secretly hope there would be like a Moana world, but I kind of think Moana was out too soon for that to come into
Probably,
this. So I don't think that's going to happen. And like, I'd love to see like the Great Mouse Detective in there.
That's such a random pull.
It ain't gonna happen. It's my favorite Disney movie of all time, but it's a
could
wish.
Be a summon. It could be a summon.
Oh,
summon.
Let's hope.
Not a world, just a great detective summon.
Because I reckon Ratigan would be like a mad villain for like the whole Kingdom Hearts series. Like, he's the best.
He's more evil than Maleficent, or
Exactly. And then he can just summon Felicia, his cat, to eat something, and you can literally go, "Bye, Felicia."
Oh my god.
Sorry.
No. Yep.
I have hopes, and I know they're not going to happen.
You've achieved them. You've sold me on it, though. I'll say at least is that. I'm most excited for Toy Story. I think, and that's probably like a lot of people's, I suppose. Like, just because it's Toy Story and everyone loves Toy Story, but. There was a.
It's okay.
I hear a couple of people like it, but I remember there was a PS1 game. I can't remember, but it was a Toy Story PS1 game I played as a kid, and I always loved it. You could run around the Andy's room and interact with like all the characters, and they all gave you little jobs to do and stuff like that. So as soon as they announced that there was going to be Kingdom Hearts 3 was going to have Toy Story, well, like, I get to run around like Andy's room, hopefully, and like interact with characters.
Same feeling with when they in the first one when you saw Mount Olympus, because I remembered at least watching my cousins play the Disney
PS1,
Hercules on PlayStation 1, and I have tried to stream that and rage quit that as well because it's
it would be hard.
Let's not go there.
I don't reckon I could go back and play it, to be honest, either. I remember I finished it as a kid, but it took me probably years and years and years, and I don't know if I have it somewhere, but I remember I used to write because it didn't have save files, and I on the back of my manual.
That's a bitch.
Yeah, at the back of like old games, in the back of the manuals, they actually had like blank spots where you could write notes, and I drew like with really bad kids' handwriting drawings. I'd drawn like all of these different codes for levels and stuff in the back of them. Yeah, it's like Medusa's head and whatever else. But yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's a whole thing, but that's a horrible game. What do you reckon they'll do with Mount Olympus? What would you like them to see them do with Mount Olympus in this game then? Because do you want to
actually see more of the gods? Like instead of it just being like Hades filling Hercules, have like flesh it out a bit more. Like they call it Mount Olympus, and it's not really Mount Olympus if you've got only Hades there, because Hades is from hell. I want to see Hera. I want to see Zeus. I want to see Hades and Zeus go at it. That kind of thing. I want to hear Hermes and his sass. Like,
well, hopefully they make it more of like an actual world, I guess, more so than just a battle arena place. And give all the characters there something to do.
Here and just mash buttons and hope you win and earn a trophy that is of no value to you.
Yeah, but I still did them all.
Gotta get them trophies.
Yeah. Well, I did them before. I did them on PS2 before there was even friggin' trophies. I remember I nearly rage quit fighting Sephiroth back in the day. What annoys me, I'm like, damn, they should have had a program where you could put in your PS2 memory card and then like it would scan your save file, and then if you'd done everything, they just give you the platinum trophy on your PS4.
How good would that be? That would have been amazing.
I'm like, I probably still have this freaking my PS2 memory card where I've done everything on these games before, but damn them. What do you reckon about? How do you feel about Pirates of the Caribbean kind of returning?
I'm like, why? I hated it in the second one. I'm like, because it created such a what's the word? Not a distraction, but what's the word?
It's not like it just felt weird. I feel like it felt weird because it's off-putting because
disconnection. It was a disconnection.
Yeah.
Because you had everything else that was pretty much Technicolor and your classic Disney with all your cartoon-esque characters and that sort of thing, and then you're going to
live
something that is live action, grayscale, color wash. Like in the second one, Sora didn't even get an outfit or anything. Nothing. He was gypped, and you're just walking around unsupervised with this drunk.
Yep.
And you're this little kid, and you're going around finding these skeleton guys, and then all of a sudden, look, they're fleshed out. Oh no, they're skeletons. Like it just didn't seem to flow well with what the rest of the game was presenting. So I found I got really disconnected and disinterested when Pirates of the Caribbean came up in the second one. Yeah. And I feel it's going to end up being the same way in the third. So I'm really not looking forward to that.
I feel the same way. I had the same disconnect because it is like, everything else is like like even Tron, because even Tron, which you could kind of argue, oh, but that's live action too. But it's like, but is it like? Because it was so full of like special effects and everyone had ridiculous outfits. So, like, it kind of felt more in line. But then when it's like Pirates of the Caribbean, you just can't help but picture freaking Johnny Depp's face. And like you're like, Johnny Depp's face does not fit in with this game. I remember playing with number 2. And now my biggest problem is like I already really didn't like the Pirates of the Caribbean world in number 2, but now going into Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm like, we're going back there, and I'm like, but these days, like, if I hear Johnny Depp, like of course, because of what's happened with him recently, you're like, oh, Johnny Depp. I know he's not voicing him, is the thing. Like, he's not voicing Captain Jack.
He voiced him in the second one either.
Didn't he? Well, it probably wouldn't surprise me because they probably wouldn't pay him as much as he'd want to do it. But it's like, I know that he's not voicing him, but you still can't help but picture him.
The likeness.
Yeah, exactly. It's still his character and his likeness. Yeah. So
I'm just like, if they're gonna make me move boats, I'm gonna be even more annoyed. I have this thing where I don't like playing boats in games.
Oh really?
I hate it. I hate it.
I hate to chuck a spoiler, but I'm thinking you're probably gonna have to do something with boats.
Don't make me drive the boats.
Yeah. How about Frozen's world then? Because I'm big no big naughty Dylan. I have actually not watched Frozen yet. Yeah, no.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. I told someone this.
We've got to set something down in place. You cannot play Kingdom Hearts 3 until you've seen Frozen.
I think this is actually a thing. I think I'm going to actually watch it before I play the game. Yeah.
And it's, even though it is merchandised to death,
that's what stopped me watching it. Is because by the time I could get around to watching it, it had become a meme basically because of the song and everything, and I was like, ugh.
I think it's a great movie. Yeah. Like for a modern day Disney movie, I think it's a great movie, and it doesn't hit the tropes that classic Disney's would have, and I think for that it's great. That's why I love Moana as well, because I thought that was great as well. But yeah, definitely you have to watch.
I promise. Knock on this desk right here that I will watch Frozen before I play Kingdom Hearts 3.
I'll check up on you.
I swear.
I'm like, have you watched it yet? Have you watched it yet?
I swear I will do it.
Block me because I'm annoying.
But so you like it? Do you reckon it will make a good Kingdom Hearts?
I think so. I think so.
Something different, like snow, at least. You know, like.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it'd be really good, and because there's no real villain.
Yeah.
No, it's more just a lot of human nature shit that's going on under the subtext of like super icy powers. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good fit for Kingdom Hearts. I think.
If I was thinking because like there's no proper villain, they might have a villain from something else invade that world or something. Maybe I guess.
Yeah. So, maybe. I think that might be the case, or maybe they find that Maleficent's taken over the ice castle or something.
They just make you fight an ice monster. That'll be cliche a bit, but whatever.
Yeah, I hope they have like Olaf as a summon though, because he's fucking adorable.
And then the last one I was talking about before, the Tangled world. Are you a fan of Tangled? Do you reckon they'll make a?
Not particularly. Like, I can see why people love it, but it never really hit that chord with me. But I'm still gonna play it. I'm still gonna like it. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I like it.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yes, it's fine. It's fine.
My I didn't love it either, but I like the horse in it. The horse is funny.
Stallion. Yeah, what is his name? Stallion. Something.
I don't know, but I remember there was that one scene where he like kicks the dude off a cliff or something and then like laughs about it. I was like, I like this horse. This is a good horse.
I love the bar fight. And then they all start singing and this giant dude is like, I like painting tiny unicorns.
Can't wait for that scene to
I do love the whole fry pan trope they have.
What's the fry pan trope?
He has a fry pan as a weapon.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah. It's been so long.
Because all hail fry pans.
All hail fry pans. Do you have any last notes or things that you're looking forward to, or you want to, that you hope that are going to be in the game, or like anything like that?
I hope they don't bring back the gummy ship.
Everyone loves gummy ship. No, they don't. No, everyone hates gummy ships.
I hate the gummy ship. Like, great. It was a little bit easier to deal with in 2, but it was still fucking trash.
Yep.
I hope they have their menus better. Because I found the menus in 1 and 2 very hard to navigate. Find what I needed, and then it just really annoyed me when you haven't looked at something, you got this shiny dot there, and you're like, I don't want to look at it. Don't make me look at it. You're reminding me it's there. Other than that, what would I be looking forward to? The death of Xehanort?
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. And maybe just getting Sora back to Destiny Islands and him actually seeing his parents or something. Because I'm like, aren't they worried? Can you not like send a message home? You're like, yeah, Mom, I'm safe. I'm just traveling this universe with these people.
So his parents, well, I mean, in-game lore, I suppose all their parents, like Kyrie's, Riku's, everyone's parents probably just think, like, they still think Destiny Island is just the world, you know, like, that's all they think that it is. So they're probably just wandering around that small-ass island and just going, Riku, Kyrie, Sora, like, where else could they have gone? Oh, they must have drowned horribly in the ocean, I guess. Like,
they just didn't notice any of the shit that happened in the first one with all the nobodies and everything. They're completely oblivious.
Probably.
Or like maybe you get to the end of the game and then we find out Sora's been unconscious and it's all in his head.
Wow, that would be that would be like the biggest uproar in video game news for 2019 if that's the biggest troll thing that happens, I suppose.
Could happen.
it could happen. I'm really looking forward to the game because I'm like, Disney stuff is great. I really like Final Fantasy games, but as a kid, I absolutely adored the first 2 games. And there was a stage where if you asked me like what my favorite game was, it would have been my answer was always Kingdom Hearts and stuff. And this is I don't think I've brought this up. No, I wouldn't. This wouldn't have ever come up on the podcast before. So brand new information, embarrassing random Dylan information. But I remember once it was like one of those random questions in high school. It's like, if you ever had kids, Dylan, what would you name them? And my answers were, if it's a girl, Kyrie, and if it's a guy, Sora.
Oh, that's adorable.
So yeah, I like those games a bit when I was in.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Here's my son Sora, and I think Sora means like son or something. So at least you can explain it off. It's like it's not related to a game. It's because it means son or something. Yeah. So
by the time you've had kids, you've forgotten all about gaming. So
that's a thing you're supposed to do as well. So we're both looking forward to Kingdom Hearts when it's out next week, 25th of January, unless they delay it. But it's not. It's not going to delay. It's actually coming out.
Unless they actually do.
No, please don't say that. Don't say that. I have enough of this. People making these jokes in my life as it is.
I can't take it anymore.
You can follow Rockamummy, of course, over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Rockamummy, and then also on Twitter at Rockamummy.
Yes, at Rockamummy.
I was like, there's no weird underscore that I'm forgetting or something. No, it's just at Rockamummy.
No, I was very lucky in that sense. Yeah. You can follow me on Instagram as well. I do have a Facebook page that I do not use, but yeah.
Just search the internet for Rockamummy and find her over there and check her out. Thank you for joining me today, though.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us on the couch this week. Make sure you check out explosionnetwork.com for all our other shows, reviews, news articles, and much more. Rate Arcade Couch on Apple Podcasts to help out the show, or simply share it on social media with your friends. You can follow Explosion Network on Twitter at ExplosionPod and join our Discord at explosionnetwork.com/Discord. You can follow me on Twitter at VivaLadil, VIVALADIL. You can follow Ash on Twitter at AshleyHobley, AshleyHobley. You can follow Nick on Twitter. Are you still even using it? Like, do I promote it?
I still have the account. Log on to it variously to check my notifications, but that's about it.
Okay, well, you can follow Nick on Twitter at Lord N Pryor. You can follow Kieran on Twitter at your boy Ringo, and you can follow our special guest Rockamummy on Twitter at Rockamummy, ROCKAMUMMY. See you here next week, same time, same couch.
I'll talk about it in 6 months.
Is recording done, or did you do the outro with Rockamummy?
No, I'm about to do the outro.
Okay, you're doing the outro now? Cool.
Yeah.
What did you think of Stellaris, Nick?
It's pretty good.
There we go.
Shut up.
Now you can just cut that at the end of the episode.
It's probably as much as I would have gone out of him for 30 hours of playing something anyway.